Hey everyone, it's November 18th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with French serial killer Pierre Chanal, who murdered at least 8 men in northeast France in the 1980s, and that is him right over there, and I'd like to apologize for my terrible French pronunciation. Chanal was born in 1946 into a family of 16 children being raised by a violent alcoholic father. To escape that life, he joined the French army as soon as he could and became a career military man, serving as a chief warrant officer in the 4th Dragoon Regiment from 1977 to 1986. He enjoyed skydiving and was highly trained in hand-to-hand combat, even earning a United Nations medal for his work as a peacekeeper in Lebanon. His superiors considered him to be the prime example of what they wanted a soldier to be. What they didn't know, however, is that during the same time, he was brutally sexually assaulting and murdering young men in the region over most of the time he was stationed there. A half dozen young soldiers had disappeared in the Mourmelon region of France between 1980 and 1988, becoming an embarrassing media story to the French military. Additionally, the bodies of a young conscript and an Irish tourist had been found nearby. Military brass claimed that men who went missing had simply deserted, but the truth is that they had met another fate at the hands of Chanal. In 1988, police came across his VW camper on an isolated road and went to investigate. They found him in the midst of sexually assaulting a Hungarian hitchhiker he had picked up. He had his victim strapped down using a parachute harness, and as police took Chanal into custody, he refused to give them any more information than his name, rank, and serial number. They found 33 pairs of men's underpants in the trailer, including one labeled Made in Britain that they believed to have belonged to the young Irishman who was found dead 2 years prior. That man had been savagely beaten and tied up using military-style knots. The investigation revealed that no one had gone missing in the area during the time Chanal was in Lebanon, but they initially just tried him for the rape for which they were certain they could get a conviction. Chanal received a 10-year sentence and was granted early release from prison in 1995. In 1996, new forensic techniques were developed that matched DNA from 2 hairs found in the van to 2 of the murder victims. French authorities turned to the FBI for help, and they assisted in building a case against Chanal. He was arrested and charged with 2 murders, with a trial that began in 2003. After the first day, however, Chanal slit his own throat with a razor blade, bleeding to death in his cell. The families of his victims were upset at that result, as it meant that the courts would never declare him guilty of murdering their relatives, with one saying, "French justice has failed again. I feel like I've been betrayed." And another saying, "His suicide is the crowning glory of a case that has been a masquerade, a catastrophe for French justice." There was a large debate in France about why it took 15 years to try him for murder, with widespread belief that the military tried to cover up the extent of his actions. After his death, he has been connected to as many as 17 suspected murders, and the families of 8 missing and 2 dead men were awarded 36,000 euros each by a Parisian bankruptcy court as compensation for Chanal's crimes. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Pierre Chanal, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.